We are factoring or solving a quadratic equation where we have terms on both sides. Um, what we first always need to do is we're gonna simplify this. We always want to get everything on one side and get it set equal to 0. We want one of the sides needs to be 0. So I have w minus 4 squared equals 2w squared minus 13w plus 10. So what I want to do is I need to get everything on one side so that I get 0 on the other. So I am going to, first of all, I'm going to square this out. W squared minus 8w plus 16 equals 2w squared minus 13w plus 10. Okay, so this is w minus 4 times w minus 4. So my first term gives me w squared minus 4w gives me minus 8w plus 16. And then what I want to do is I'm going to subtract all of this from this side. So I'm going to subtract w squared. I'm going to subtract negative 8w. So I'm going to add 8w. And I'm going to subtract 16. So let me actually write it like this. I'm going to subtract w squared. I'm going to add 8w. And I'm going to subtract 16. So I'm going to do that to both sides of the equation. So hope you guys see. So when I do that, everything, make sure these match, all the signs match. This cancels, this cancels, this cancels. I get 0 equals 2w squared minus w squared gives me w squared. By the way, when they show you to do this in ALEKS, they add it to the end. I always recommend working vertically. It just makes your life easier. So do it right underneath like this. So I get w squared negative 13w plus 8w is minus 5w. And then negative 10 positive 10 minus 16 is negative 6. So now I need to factor this. And if you want, you can rewrite this and put the 0 on the other side like that. A lot of people don't like it when it looks like this, so you can just move that to the other side. It doesn't matter. That right? So now I'm going to factor, and I need two numbers that multiply to negative 6 and add to negative 5. So this is going to be one positive and one negative number. So if I start with 1 and 6, those basically that will subtract, right? One's positive, one's negative, so they'll subtract 5. So that is my answer. So it's positive 1, negative 6. So w plus 1 times w minus 6 equals 0. And if I multiply these back together, I get w squared minus 6w plus w gives me minus 5w minus 6. Then I set each of these equal to 0, or w minus 6 equals 0. One of these has to be 0 for the the product to be 0. One of the terms need to be 0. So then I subtract 1 from both sides, and I get w equals negative 1. And I add 6 to both sides, and I get w equals 6. So w equals negative 1 or w equals 6. And then you should put them back in to check. So if I put in negative 1 into the equation, I get negative 1 minus 4 squared, and that is 25. Negative 1 minus 4 is negative 5 squared is 25. And then over here, I get 2 times negative 1 squared minus 13 times negative 1 plus 10, and that is 2 minus 13. Sorry, that is -1 squared is 1, so that's 2 plus 13 is 15 plus 10 is 25. Okay, so 25 equals 25, so -1 is the solution, and if I put 6 into this equation, I get 6 minus 4 squared, and that is 2 squared, which is 4. And when I put 6 in here, I get 2 times 6 squared minus 13 times 6 plus 10. So that is 36 times 2. This is 72. 13 times 6, I think that's minus 78, if I did the math right. 13 plus 60, plus 10. 72 minus 78 is -6 plus 10 is 4. 4 equals 4. So that's correct. So these are my solutions. And the way I put them into Alex is I just type in -1, 6.